T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rips the helmet off Rudolph's head and then eventually swings it and hits him in the head.
1, 2, 3, where you not hardcore? Let you live hardcore. And the legend of the rich was way hardcore. Yeah! Now we're rocking.
What is up, football world, Raider Nation, fantasy football fans? Welcome. If you hang around Raider Reaction during the football season, you know Wednesday nights are fantasy football nights. And it is time for another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live, the official podcast of the Hardcore Challenge, which is the pinnacle. It's going on the fucking scroll. Scrolls don't lie. Of fantasy football competition. If you're not playing in the Hardcore Challenge, you're playing in some minor league fantasy football shit. The Hardcore Challenge format is the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. Thank you all for joining me each and every damn one of you. We do got the quad screen going on. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and you can even Twitch, bitch, if you would like to. And as you see, JoJo has nothing to say to us, and we'll get to that soon enough. We got a solid show for you tonight. It's going to be a fun show. It is our prediction special show. We're going to pick who we think's going to make the postseason, who's going to win the division, who's going to be the wild cards, who's going to be the dumpster fires, who's going to win it all. See what I think of your draft, see what I think of your keeper selections, and let's begin the smack talk for Season 2 and Season 15. Let's get after it. Let's start out with the keepers being locked. Somewhat was a little drama with the keeper lock date. For the first time ever, we had a couple guys miss the deadline, so we had to hand out some punishments. One guy stuck with the auto select that the computer went with for his keepers. The other guy is losing his first round draft pick in order to be able to select his keepers. And going forward, I myself am going to change the way the keepers are locked in, because I think I can alleviate this problem happening. So as soon as the site reboots and go live for the next year, I'm going to have all owners go and put their keepers, put their selections in there. It doesn't lock until the week before. You can go there and change them at any time. So as long as they're in there, that way if something happens and you're in the fucking hospital, your wife's having a baby, you got the fucking flu, you've been quarantined, ET's fucking visiting, and you got all those guys with the fucking around, and you're in a fucking bubble with tubes, whatever. And you can't get internet inside your bubble with tubes, you'll already have your keeper selected in there. So when it locks, you'll have your last best selection in there and not what the computer has. So this can never, ever happen again. So I think we've taken care of that going forward, and we won't have an issue. But it was handled well, and I think it was handled amicably, and we moved on. Democratically, we voted. We had the rules committee discuss it, and we got to it. But we did have a draft this weekend. The All Raider Nation League did have a draft, and your draft grades are up. Go check them out. I know some of your draft grades aren't quite as good as my A+, 14-0, and first place projection in the All Raider Nation League, but hopefully you can do as well in your draft, and hopefully I do as well in the next draft. That's this Sunday. So we'll check it out, and let's see what the projections are for. You gotta post it. We need to see physical evidence, JoJo. We need to see physical evidence of this B in order for us to believe it. All right, let's get to the projections. The predictions, shall we? We're going to start with the big league. We're going to start with the big league first. The Hardcore Challenge, Season 15 predictions. The keepers were locked in this weekend, Sunday night, midnight Eastern Time. They locked in shortly after. Great White North. Who's it going to be? Let's get to our prediction special. But did you get a 14-0 A+ lines? Did you get a 14-0 A+? So I do believe there are only two of us. If you have a 50-50 chance to make the postseason, by my math, I'm not sure how they teach it in public schools in Ohio, but by my math, that would mean only two got a 14-0. Project the okay, third. So, okay, all right. Well, third. I guess that's all right. At least you're on the podium. All right, moving along. We don't want to talk about your third place over there. Moving along. All right, projections. Here are my predictions in the Hardcore Challenge Season 15. We're going to hit it first in the Great White North Division. Returning to division champion form, I have Knox Vegas Anarchy. Over in the NFC, in the Great White North Division, I am picking our former champion to grasp the division crown again. Freaking fracking football time, Carroll. I am picking a back-to-back division champion in the Elite East of the AFC. Won it last year as the new owner, and I think he's going to take it again. I'm picking Emmett Who. And he started out and he was running this division, the Elite East in the NFC last year. He's one of the youngest owners, and he went on a 6-game skid to end the season. He had this division on lockdown for the most of the season, and I think he's going to take it next year. I'm picking Craven and the Emperors to win the NFC Elite East. Stinky Pinky is going to win the Wild West. The Wild West is at a crossroads. I'm not sure who to pick here. I think this one's really kind of up for grabs, but I'm picking Stinky Pinky just based off of history. Donkey Punch is taking the Wild West in the Elite East, in the NFC. Lions, I just don't believe in you. You just don't get it done at the end in the big league. Donkey Punch just always seems to step on your throat in the last 2 weeks. And I'm picking it to happen again. In the dirty south of the AFC, I think Joe and the All-Pro Afro take the dirty south. And in the NFC, I think we have another back-to-back division champ as Buck, Nuts, and Kyle seem to be getting it done. And since they've moved into the dirty south, Willie is not the man anymore. Willie's been knocked down a fucking peg. And Kyle has been the top dog over in the dirty south. Now, there's got to be a couple wild card spots as well. I believe one is going to answer to the master. And I believe the other is going to be top one Knoxville Assassins in the NFC. Those are your number one wild card spots. I'm picking myself to slide in the back door and grab that last wild card spot. And here's my my shocking prediction right here. The Renegade Outlaws will get into the postseason this year. Travis is going to break the streak, and he's getting in this season to the postseason. He makes his return to postseason play. There's my bold prediction. Bold prediction. Now, who wins the AFC? I'm picking All-Pro Afro. I think Joe has been knocking on the door. He's won the AFC. I think Joe's knocking on the door. And I'm picking Bucknuts in the NFC. I think he's proven that he's formidable competition in the NFC. And I think he's taking the NFC. But I am picking the NFC streak to end this season. And the AFC will bring the Mandeach Cup back home to our side of the league. And I'm picking Joe, an All-Pro Afro who's been knocking on the door for a few seasons now. He's won the AFC. He's brought home money. He's won conference championships. He's won division championships. He's been in the top scoring for a few seasons. And I think All-Pro Afro. I'm picking Joe to win it all this season. There we go. There's my predictions for the big league. Now, you got to go to the top. But then you got to go to the bottom. To be the worst team to finish number 16 in your American Football Conference of the AFC. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I'm picking Ryan and the Stone Ponies to be the worst team in the AFC this season. And in the NFC, the only team that's got a fucking general manager, a head coach, an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator. I've got a Chubb in the NFC. That's my predictions for the Hardcore Challenge Season 15. We'll see if they come to fruition. Now, moving on to the Hardcore Challenge All Raider Nation League. The All Raider Nation League. My predictions for this season. Draft is in, so everybody has their full teams. So I know exactly what you guys are working with at this point. It's a little more of a real, more of a guess until, because I tweak my projections in the other league. Based after the draft. So here we go. Here we go. Oh, anticipation. It's killing you, I know. Alright, the Great White North. I'm picking the defending champ to win the division again. I'm picking Lions to return as what? The division. I know, it's insane. In the Elite East Division, I'm picking one of the new owners. He's been hanging out in the comments of our fantasy football shows for years. Literally years. So I know he's a football nut, and I'm picking the Autumn Pirates in the Elite East. In the Wild West Division, I am picking Big Game James. He started out like a house of fire last year and then fell apart like a house of cards at the end. But I'm picking Raider Nation 8, Big Game James, to win the Wild West. And in the Dirty South, you seen my projections. A+, 14-0, projected first. Why would I pick anybody but my goddamn self to win the Dirty South Division? I mean, even NFL.com, the supercomputers see fantasy football genius right in front of them. So, I mean, who am I to go against supercomputers and algorithms that are much smarter than myself that have picked me to be 50-50 chance to win? So obviously I'm going to win my division. So I have to put myself at winning the Dirty South. Now there will be a couple wild cards, and I am picking Sax Offenders to be one of the wild cards. I think it's going to be very close between him and the Black Hole. And for the final spot, sliding in with that backdoor action, I got the Raider Warlords sliding in under the wire and making it into the postseason. But somebody must win it all. And I noticed, and I watched, and I appreciate the grind when I see an owner put in that extra work, and they got fucking notepads, and you know, I see the moves, man. I seen the moves, and I appreciate the hustle and the grind, and that is why I think against all odds, even though I do not have them picked to win their division because I think it's going to be a tight division battle, I'm picking Sacks Offenders to win it all this year. I seen the grind the man put in last season, and that's why I'm picking him to win it all. I think he is one of the favorites and has a huge chance to win it all. The man knows his fantasy football. He's also picked with an A+, 14-0 ranking, and projected to be facing off against me in the championship game, per the supercomputers and the algorithms. So, I might be there, but I'm picking this man to win, and he's going to have that Mad Max Crosby hanging on his wall this offseason. That's what we got. Whoa, but we can't move on. We've got one more. We've got one more. Who will be the dumpster fire of the All Raider Nation League Season 2? Foghorn, I'm sorry. Auto draft. You did come in at the end and grabbed a hold of the reins, but I don't know. We'll see. Got a weak logo. Came in halfway through with an auto draft, so you've not impressed me thus far. So I picked you as the dumpster fire. So we'll see. We'll see if you can turn it around. And I'll be eating crow at the end. Because I always go back to my predictions at the end of the season. I'll save these screens and we'll come back. Oh yes, we'll revisit them and see how close I am and see how right I was. All right, moving on. Finalized schedules. Go check them. Make sure your schedule's right. It doesn't matter if you play back-to-back games against division rivals on your schedule. As long as they're division rivals, you will play all your division rivals twice. I think there's like a couple teams that happen to play division rivals in back-to-back weeks. I went with the different schedule format in the All Raider Nation League than I did the Hardcore Challenge League. But in the Hardcore Challenge Big League, also check your schedule. You should start with your division rivals, finish with your division rivals, and you should only play interconference other teams one time. So please check your schedules and make sure they're right. I'll be doing checks all the way till the season's over, but my God, there's just so much to check, and just another set of eyes sometimes help miss one little detail that I may have missed. And sorry, Roland. I'm sorry. You close. See, you can come back and you be like, you didn't believe in me, and look what I've done. Look what I've done. You can give me that. Check the rules and the scoring. Understand the rules. Understand how the waiver wire works. The way the waiver wire works is if you cannot use your waiver wire and you can bank it. Every time you use your waiver wire, you drop back to the bottom. And then you have to wait your way back up. But if you don't use it, you're going to keep moving up as everybody uses theirs and keeps falling down the ladder. And you can bank it and you can hold on to that number one waiver wire spot for a couple weeks and then use it when you want. So there is a lot of strategy to the waiver wire, and we do use it a little differently in the Hardcore Challenge format than others. So familiarize yourself with that. The number one thing that I want everybody to know regarding rules, especially the All Raider Nation League, because there are some new owners. Everybody in the Hardcore Challenge, Big League, All Champions League, you guys know the freaking deal. We expanded the bench for a reason on the roster, and that is to support the individual defensive players on the defensive side of the ball. It is not to deplete the talent pool of the offense. So there is a mandatory defensive spot. That can be filled by team defense, individual defensive player, or special teams. But there is a mandatory individual defensive spot on your bench that must be maintained at all time. You can make moves right now. This is considered your off-season period. But once the ball is in the air, on Thursday night, on opening night for the first game, and the season has officially kicked off, you must have a defensive player in that mandatory defensive spot on your bench, and you must maintain it at all times. You will get waiver wire penalties. We will penalize you in some way, shape, or manner if you do not adhere to it. There will be a zero strike rule this season. You must have a defensive player. I am going to say it at every damn show. You must have your roster legal every week after the first week and maintain that spot. You can't make some weird move and then like for a day or two not have it fold. No, that is not what it's for. You cannot manipulate the system. It must be filled at all times. A defensive spot once. You got a couple weeks till opening night. When the ball goes in the air that Thursday night, that spot must be maintained the rest of the season, or you will be penalized appropriately. Other than that, the only other thing regarding your roster is the IR spot, the reserve spot. It is only for injured reserve. If it does not say IR next to your player's name on NFL.com, when you try to move them into that slot, they are not allowed to be in there. PUP doesn't matter. Suspended doesn't matter. COVID doesn't matter. Any other designation that player gets, it is only for IR and IR only. That is for one of you. If one of your keepers gets hurt on injured reserve, you can drop them down into that spot, not have to lose one of your keepers who gets injured possibly, and not have to carry that roster spot for the whole year. That's what the spot's for. And now that they're much more flexible with injured reserve, no. IR! Are you deaf? Are you deaf out there?
What? Somebody call security.
Does NFI look like IR? That's 3 letters compared to 2. Man, this Ohio public school education. I know. No PUP, no suspended, no exempt, IR. That's it. It is. We have those spots for a specific reason, and it is for IR players. You want to keep a suspended player? That's fine. Then you're going to keep them on your bench, and you're going to have to manipulate around them. That's not what the spot's for. We created the spot because we have keepers, and if one of your keepers goes down in week 1, blows his fucking knee out, you shouldn't have to throw them out on the waiver wire to the goddamn wolves. That's a core of your team. You're going to get them back at some point later, and you should be able to move them into IR. That's what the spot's for. That's what it's for. So, no. Nothing else. Jojo! Jojo, did you like the video, the post-game video, the post-draft video I made? I was hoping you'd at least appreciate it. I didn't even get a comment out of that. Man, I tell you. I got fucking crickets over here. I got nothing. I really got nothing.
Fatality.
I'll trade you a running back, JoJo. I got a stable of them. Us with these A+ ratings. All right. We will be naming Game of the Weeks next week in both leagues and breaking those down and making our predictions.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's time
Is this not why you are here?
for the Hardcore Challenge Game of the Week.
And of course, after each week, we will have the big ballers.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People
Now, we do not do this in the big league, but in the All Raider Nation League, we will have weekly flash prizes. And I will be announcing next week during the show what flash prize number 1 is going to be for the Raider Nation League as well. Oh no, I got shit fixed, man. It's running smooth. You have no idea what I've done over the last week to make sure everything fucking runs smooth. I can't have things not work on me. My blood pressure can't take it. I don't want to die right here live in front of everybody. Have midgets fucking carrying me off. They can't carry me with their little hands. It ain't gonna work. All right. This weekend, going down Sunday, we will be live. We've got a staggered start. The AFC draft starts at, is it 6? Hold on. Yes, the AFC draft starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and the NFC draft starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That way, I will be able to do live draft coverage of both of the first rounds. And trust me, I'll have a lot of time on my hands in my draft room because I don't draft until the second to last pick in the 4th round. I made a really bad fucking trade last season. Really bad. I still have a draft pick defected next year from that trade. So I do not have any of my top 3 picks, and I pick second to last in the 4th. So I will be waiting a long time before I fucking pick. So I got plenty of time to do some commentary on y'all's draft. So that's what we'll be doing Sunday night. The 32 owners, 2 conferences, the Hardcore Challenge. I think we need to give it a name. Because we've got the Hardcore Challenge, All Raider Nation League now. It needs a name, like the Champions League or something. Because, I mean, this is like the big league. This is the one that everybody wants in, the 32 owners, 2 conferences. I mean, you could be an NFC champ, AFC champ. I mean, you can be conference champ and not even win it all. I mean, we got to come up with a name. It's always just it was the Hardcore Challenge, which is a badass name, but now we've added this fraction of the Hardcore Challenge with the All Raider Nation League that we didn't have before, so I keep having to say like the big league, and it needs a name. I'll have to think about that. But I will be live about 5:45 Eastern Time, about 15 minutes. The draft client goes live 30 minutes before the draft. Draft order is already set in this league. As you guys all know, it is based on the finish. It's just like the NFL. It's based on the finish of last season, as well as any trades, draft pick wise. And, the first 6 rounds are already populated because the keepers have already locked. So we're looking at round 7 as being that first round of the draft. And you're seeing Blackout right there sitting with that number 1 overall pick right there. He's ready, locked and loaded to go. Who's he going to go with? Josh Allen is out there. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen is out there due to, let me see them TDs. Or fumble those TDs, excuse me, that's the team name in the other one. Fumble those TDs, not getting his keeper locked in. He ended up with Tua as quarterback and lost Josh Allen as keeper. So is Josh Allen who they're going to grab? It'd be interesting. You see Stinky Pinky with quite a few first-round picks in there. You see Knox Vegas Anarchy with a couple first-round picks. That's your AFC, and then, of course, over in your NFC, the same thing. We're all locked and loaded. All the keepers are locked in your first 6 rounds. And the number 1 overall pick is one of our new owners. We only have 2 this season. It is Bed Bath & Bijan. I wonder who he's taking with the first overall pick. Obviously, by the name of his team, I'm guessing it could possibly be the Falcons rookie running back. Just going out on a limb here. It's not a thick limb. That's for damn sure. So that's what we got going down Sunday night. So I will see you all Sunday night. Keepers are locked in. Get your draft boards ready. Get everything set. If you are in the Hardcore Challenge All Raider Nation League, get your rosters legal. Get your rosters legal. I'm going to start sweeping through next week and checking rosters because we do got some new owners in the league, and we'll make sure everything is ready to rock and roll for week 1 so we don't have any issues. I'll give you guys some little reminders. Hey, you can't do that. You can't do this. For what I've seen, for the most part, I think everybody's got it locked down. Just make sure that you check and make sure the status of your guys, if you got any guys that might possibly be on IR, if you're going to carry in your reserve spot, and make sure you do got a defensive guy, special teams, or team defense on your bench at all times. At all times. All right. What else do we got? I think that's it. I think we're locked and loaded for some fantasy football action, man. We are 2 weeks out. 2 weeks in a day till kickoff of the fucking football league, the season, and everything football for 2023. I'm excited. Let's get after it. Good luck to everybody this season. We had a good draft this last weekend. I know we're going to have a great draft this Sunday with the Hardcore Challenge Big League with all 32 of our owners. We'll be locked and loaded. We're there, man. Draft night's a big fucking deal. This is when you're a custom hybrid dinosaur keeper league like the Hardcore Challenge with 32 owners. A draft is a big deal because you get a chance to get your hands on a rookie who you can never let go. I got Joe Burrows as quarterback in this league, and I've got Jamar Chase as well, and I'm hoping those two hit big this year. But just having that guy that I can lean on at quarterback for seasons, yeah. Listen to the man down there. He did win a championship in the All Raider Nation League. Of course, he hasn't done shit in the big league, though, so, take it with a grain of salt. Until next time, good luck to everybody this year, man. Good luck to everybody, all of you new owners. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out at all times. We do have a rules committee for the big league, and I will be leaning on that rules committee as well for the Raider Nation League. So if there is an issue, if we had trade issues, if you got questions, feel free to reach out. Send me a message to the page in any manner. Fucking midget strippergram to the door. However you need to get it to me. Send us messages, send us questions. Let's make... You got a question? Why did I get no running back? JoJo, you do not want me to answer that question. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, JoJo. Come on now. Damn.
Somebody call security. What?
I tell you.
So long, sucker!
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen of the Raider Nation and fantasy football world, I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation. Good luck to you all in your fantasy football seasons this year, but not enough luck that you beat me.